It works. All right, cool. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Rune Sunday stream. Unfortunately, we are a little bit short-handed today, but of course, I'm joined by Binzy and Discomonk. What's up, guys? How's your week been? Oh man, I've been feeling a little bit better, which is good. I've been playing Super People. That's I don't know if I mentioned that on the RSS before, but yeah, I've been really enjoying that game, and I lived up to my name. I am the No Look Panda. Right before the stream, for those of you unaware, the League of Legends Worlds Championship is going on, and I'd mentioned it very briefly, I think last stream, but I've been actually trying to bet on the games, and the game right before, well, not right before, but maybe a game or two ago, right before the stream started, I bet on one team to win, and I bet on the game being over in 39 minutes, and the team that I bet on lost, and the game lasted 39 minutes and 15 seconds. So, yeah, pretty much. Unless you're pulling rune words. Hey. But yeah, I did live up to my name. But I mean, I guess that's part of what happens. What about you, Binzy? How's your week been? Hi. Wait, your mouth isn't moving. Can you raise your hand? We can hear you. I believe everybody can hear you. Unfortunately, it does look like your model is maybe not reacting to your face movements, and perhaps not your arm movements as well. Actually, hold on.
Good reason for that, and that's because that doesn't.
I don't think you fully transcended into our universe quite yet. Still completing the process.
Wait, Twitch chat.
I just heard it. It's working now, Panda.
Is it? Wait, I don't see you moving. Wait, Twitch chat, can you confirm? Can you guys hear Disco and Binzy?
Okay, so the mouth movement and the hands won't work today because I'm sharing my screen, which has my camera on it. But my voice wasn't working until now. It is working now. I can hear myself in the stream.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah. I think it was still I still had the sound muted, but I believe you guys should be able to be heard now.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you for the intro. It's been a good week. Actually, I hurt my wrist and I'm resting up, but we're doing a lot of other things, and it's coming together.
Okay, cool. So, for everybody on the stream, we actually don't have too much to cover today. It's actually just going to be a not very lengthy stream. But, because we don't have Maev here, because we don't have Eki here, this is a perfect opportunity for you guys to ask Binzy questions. If anybody has any questions you guys would like Binzy to directly address, this is probably your best time to ask. Yeah.
Before asking questions, it probably makes sense to do a review.
Yeah, we are going to be going over, I guess, part of the roadmap. I guess kind of just reviewing everything about Rune in general today. And I guess on that note, I think we can take a look at the standings for Evo. I do like to take a look at that at the beginning of every single stream just to see how everybody has been doing throughout the week. Hopefully nothing is broken. Give me 1 second. I'm a little bit scared to see what's going to pop up if I change my scene. Yes, better hide my downloads. Don't want that to be shown. Okay, no. I think it should be good here. So, yeah, Evolution Season 3. We do have a couple more weeks left in the season. Sassy Boy's still in first, of course, and you see all the people with about 20,000 points fighting for 5th place. I do see Gavin Calix. I think that's the new name that was not on the leaderboards last week. So yeah, if you're here on the stream, say hi.
And congratulations as well for breaking into that top 10. There's some great playing. And of course, Argonaut, I think, is possibly new in the top 10, at least for the season. But lots of new players, returning players actually, coming back and taking part, which is great to see. Do keep it up. As I think, Panda, you're about to allude to, the competition is looking incredibly fierce for that 5th spot. I think that's where players seem to be targeting their efforts. Now, of course, a lot of mind games there. It's much simpler to just head for first, although you do have to put up with the might of Sassy Boy, with that fairly significant lead at the moment, but not uncatchable still. As you can see on the timer, that's pretty much 2 weeks still, and of course will be 2 weeks until the Room Royale, which will be right here at the same sort of time. So do make sure you're along for that, for another opportunity to potentially beat Sassy Boy. If you don't feel you can do it in that 2-week period, but a lot of time left. We're only halfway. It'd be interesting to see how things kind of move on from here.
Yeah, so
this is really the fight for 5th. Amazing.
Yeah, so I think I guess it definitely won't be for this season, but maybe in the next season or 2, maybe we actually end the season like maybe part way through the stream, and then we can take the first like maybe 15-20 minutes of the stream to watch how the games play out, just to see people competing for the 5th and potentially 1st place spot. I think that would be a little bit fun to watch, just to see like all the mind games and how everybody is like trying to either win or lose games, to try to get to the lucky number 5, or obviously 1st as well. But obviously it's not going to happen this season. This season's already locked in. Maybe potentially next season or the following we can look to do something like that. But
yeah, I like that. That's a really good idea, because with 5th it makes a lot more sense. With 1st it was never really, there was always such a large gap.
Yeah, 1st it was usually just like a couple people competing, but yeah, we see so many people here, around 20,000, and probably even more if you look at the full leaderboards. I'll just take a look to see anybody else around there as well. Late 3rd, kind of close. A couple more people that could possibly get to that point as well. Chaos Smith, of course, he can get a bunch of points in a hurry if he really grinded for it. But yeah, so that is the season in review, and that is going to be the theme of the stream today. A lot of review. Loma did ask a question in the chat, or I guess it's kind of a question, kind of a statement.
I can answer that while we go over it.
Okay, sure. So
okay, so maybe the best way to start is for me to share my screen.
Yeah, let me go ahead and pull up your screen here. There we go. That should be good to go. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, all right. Hey, everybody. So today we'll just review some of the things that we've been developing, because we don't often do this, and so it's really hard for somebody who's newer to understand, what is Ruin about? What are they making? What have they done? And where are they going? And so, yeah. So obviously, if you just go to the roadmap. So, the idea kind of was conceptualized in Q4 of 2020, but development didn't start until Q1, somewhere around February. And we launched the website, which was originally just like a farming game. We call it Ruin Raid. So that we call the farming Ruin Raid, we have a lot of ideas around how we can make that a more interactive, more of a more dialogue, more monsters and bosses and these kinds of things. And that'll be going into Raid 2, right? So Raid 1 will be coming to a close. I do need to jump in
for a second. Can you zoom in your screen a little bit? It's probably a little bit blurry on the stream. If you could zoom in on your browser. Yeah, there we go. That should be much better.
Yeah, so the first one we did was called Rune Raid, and the second one will and then Rune Raid 2 will be more interactive. It'll be a Unity game that's playable on web, similar to Evolution. But it won't be fast paced. It'll be like a daily thing. You can kind of check in and do a daily quest or something like this. You can make decisions using your character. You can fight bosses in different raids, and so you'll actually be able to join different raids at the same time, rather than just like one raid. It's multiple going on at the same time. They're in different areas on the map, so you can kind of go around the world map, choose your raid, choose your boss based on difficulty or the mechanics, right? So there'll be like PvP versions where you could lose everything, and then each day you have a choice of like your next action, right? And this is where you can lock in your harvest, or you could just keep risking your harvest. So it's different in that respect of like raid 1, where you could just harvest any time and you didn't have any interaction. There was no like mechanics against other people. In this one, raid 2, you would be basically kind of like gambling your harvest, or you would be just like claiming it early, so you wouldn't be gambling it. And there's a lot of mechanics around this. There is actually a list of all the attributes. I think it's item attributes. If you want to see it, you just ask us. But yeah, we have a lot of item attributes around that, right? So you can see down here, there's pool multipliers, there's avoiding burn, there's early access to those raids. There are just a number of harvest theft and investment and different things you can do with that in that respect if you're into strategy. That'll be raid. The next one is evolution, right? So evolution originally was just supposed to be a demonstration of NFTs and getting tokens into a play-to-earn game. It wasn't supposed to be anything more than that, but it obviously grew into something more than that. Where did we launch that? I think it was Q3. Yeah, we launched it here. Yeah, so we launched this and it became very involved. And so this kind of seems like our main thing right now, but it's actually really only basically supposed to be there for demonstrating technology, for building things out and getting it working. And so a lot of the things that we do in Evolution are going to be reused in our other games, including Infinite and Sanctuary. So the real game I think that we really want to focus on is Infinite, right? And that's the PvP arena game. And in that game, we've released a demonstration. I think we can see. Actually, I should probably show these. So we were just talking about Evolution, which is the dragon game. And now we're talking about the main game would be Infinite. And this is the fast-paced PvP game where you can battle for rewards in the arenas and participate in these tournaments. There will probably be a PvE aspect to it as well, but this is where all of the rune words would be used and make sense. And the important aspect of this is that we're building a new skill system that is not like a lot of other games. So it's that your rune words, your items, act as a card in a deck, kind of like a TCG. So we're talking Hearthstone, we're talking Magic the Gathering, or Pokemon, or Yu-Gi-Oh! And so you have a certain number of equipment slots, right? And so I think there's something like 30 right now, and there could be something like 50, which is essentially the same as a deck of cards. And you can have a number of active skills in Infinite right now. I think it's 10. So again, that's similar to having your active deck. And so the reason to do this is because PvP in games has become very offensive. It's become very offensive, and not really a lot of strategy around defense. And if you look at card games, there's a lot of strategy around defense. And so it makes sense to develop it this way because we want to reuse this system in Sanctuary. So Sanctuary is the 3D MMO, and this is what everything's building into. And we want to reuse the skill system that we develop here in this game, and this is going to require a lot of work and tweaking and all that kind of stuff in Infinite to then import into this game. And the reason why that's important is because Sanctuary is not a level-based game. So you don't start at level 1 and go to level 100. You start at the end game. Sanctuary starts already at the end game. And so the way that you progress in Sanctuary is more through the story, through your choices, and through your build. So you'll easily be able to switch your gear set to your type of build. If you want to be a battle mage or a Hades style character, that's slow but has a really high AoE, that's your choice, it's your playstyle. And we don't want to inhibit that. It's not like you have to work for a month to get to reset your skills or something like this. We want to make it very fluid and easy and fun to change your builds, and that's part of the reason we don't go with really strong class-based systems in Infinite, and that's why we allow this freedom and this kind of TCG deck style. It will, of course, have progressive difficulty. You won't be able to just go to every single area and stomp it. You have to actually think about your build, and that, for me, is the best way to do things, because if as a game developer, you spend so much time balancing everything, and you can't change anything then, right? Like if you spend all of the time balancing these skills and for these certain levels and these breakpoints, it's very difficult to actually change and manipulate and improve things, because you have so much legacy and debt that you have to carry on with you. And so for me, this is a much better way to do things, and for us anyways, to build this metaverse, because in doing this, we can build the protocols, we can build all of the items and the lore and everything around it, and we can reuse it through these games, these evolving these NFTs that carry on from game to game and get evolved, and it just makes a lot more sense to do it this way. Okay, so that was an overview of the games. Going back to the roadmap.
So I want to jump in right now. I have a question. So, I guess maybe I wasn't even aware of that. Of the fact that I guess Sanctuary you start in the end game. Does that mean that there's going to be like no leveling or no grinding like you would see in typical MMOs?
So there won't be. That's pretty much correct. Like you're not going to feel like you're grinding, because you're going to play for the progression that you want to play. So your choices there's different arcs in the story and different areas, branching areas. You play because you want to play, because it's fun, because you're improving your build, because you're learning new things. You're not playing because you have to grind, X amount of levels to unlock, this skill that everybody else has unlocked. It's honestly archaic to me, and I'm really shocked and surprised that people still do it this way.
Interesting. So, is there
at the same time? I'm sorry, I gotta stop myself, because I do know that people like progression.
Yeah. I think people do, and I guess I'm kind of curious. Is there any other game that has something similar to what you're looking for, or is this going to be something completely new? I actually don't think I can think of a game that kind of skips out on all of the leveling. And to me, I think for me, I don't like grinding that much, but I know a lot of people, they actually do like seeing just like that number increase.
Yeah, no, absolutely. People do. They get a hit of dopamine when they get a level increase. People definitely like that. And it gives them a sense of understanding like where they are and where they're going, right? So you can't dismiss it entirely. I think that, if I had to say what it would be similar to, I feel like Morrowind is kind of like that in a sense. Even though, so Morrowind, you increase the levels on your abilities, but if you fuck it up, you can't actually progress anywhere. Like you actually have to put thought into your build, and it's an open world. You can kind of go anywhere you want to go as long as you can kill the monster. You can go there, and that's how I remember Morrowind, even though it had levels. But I think we definitely need to put thought into how to, like, when we're actually implementing it, how to give a sense of progression through in that way, and I think that for me, that's going to come more down to like how hard you're hitting, how like DPS. People often talk about DPS. For me, it'd be more like how fast are you killing these monsters? Like you always see, it's interesting when you kill a monster, you always see numbers that say like 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, but like what really matters is like how much HP are you taking for that monster? Is it 0.1%, 0.01%, 100%? And so progressing in power is what people want, truly. Not the number, the levels don't really make any difference. It's people want to go back and be able to smash content that they've outleveled.
Yeah, I think that's kind of right. It's great to see the level up number, but really you want the level up for the benefits that gives you. So if there are other ways to level up, those specific benefits, you can do that without that kind of, standard leveling up of the character itself. And we've got mechanisms on the way to do that through the transmuting of rune words. So you end up leveling up the items themselves rather than your character to increase the power of those builds. So I think again, just another example of the way that you can have that leveling up and that progression, and still not actually go down the traditional route of leveling up a character itself.
Yeah, no, it just goes entirely right. Like these days, like when you're new, the level makes sense to you. But most players, they understand now because they watch Twitch and pros and everything. It's more about like DPS. Where are you in the DPS ranking? Where are you in the global ranking? Like how good are you actually? What is your skill level? What is your build combination? Is it good? The levels are not as appealing as they ever used to be.
Yeah, I guess that does make sense. It's something that I've always found a little bit silly is when you look at ranks in games, people like to, especially in League, I think a lot of people are like, oh, I hit Master or I hit Grandmaster or whatever that might be. But I always find that a little bit silly because what matters isn't necessarily what the rank is called, but more so the numerical value of like what number you are on the leaderboard. It's not necessarily what that rank is called. So I guess it's a little bit similar to that. Maybe not exactly the same. Obviously, League is a esport competitive game, and MMOs are a little bit different than that. But yeah,
they traditionally are. So actually, this goes into the question that Loma has. He says this freedom is great, but isn't that harder to balance? Yeah. Okay. So it might be harder in the beginning, right? But like I said, like once you've collected a lot of debt, balanced debt is one of the hardest debts to get to readjust. And so if you develop an MMO and you have to rebalance things, it's very hard. Games like World of Warcraft have taken shortcuts. They used to be able to go up to like 80, and then they completely slashed 30 levels. So like, you can't. All of your level 80s are now level 50. They've done this multiple times. It's just like, how does that make any sense? Because they just keep readjusting the high level, the top end levels, and now most of the areas are balanced, like auto scaled in World of Warcraft. So like if you're attacking an enemy with your friend in your party, it's the level of the monster is like auto scaled. So but it's very fragmented. What they're doing now kind of makes sense, but it's very fragmented, and there's a lot of debt there. So yeah, anyways, the point is that it's harder to balance in the beginning, but I think that if you think about it, like what Panda just said, it's about ranking, it's about how are you stacking up against everybody else, right? So that goes into, for me, global balancing, right? Like I know that this is an experiment, but it that hasn't really been done before. But I think that in an MMO you can apply a similar sense of what you see in League of Legends or Overwatch with global like rankings into the world itself, so that the monsters there scale and are balanced based on, well, actually, like, that it's auto scaled because your skills are scaled for that. So if everybody is using Fireball in that area and Fireball is just, if it's destroying enemies there, then it's not supposed to. So if like, for example, let's just hypothetically say that Fireball is like this amazing ability. It's not, we have it ranked as like a tier. It's got a high tier rank or something like this. It's like A or SS or something like this. It shouldn't. It should be destroying them, but something else shouldn't. So if something else is, then it means that the auto scaling can nerf it. If everybody's using that ability, it's not supposed to be that powerful. It's one shotting all the enemies. Then we can auto scale that because everybody's going to switch to that ability. And then everybody's going to be one shotting everything with that ability when they shouldn't be able to do that. That's actually really easy to balance. Like, hypothetically, we haven't done it yet, but it should be pretty easy to balance.
I think the other thing to bear in mind as well is that unlike although the structure of the items and the way we offer them and think of them is like building your deck of cards to kind of create your build, unlike those deck of card games, we do have the ability to also introduce new items and weapons. So actually, if something is too powerful, you can always bring in something else that slightly edges it, that matches a different build, that encourages some players to move over that way and build differently, or as a counter to those particular items as well. With regards to the kind of zoning of content, you can also make a variety of builds very effective by simply having different zoned areas. In the simplest form, you think of like Pokemon. You get your fire gym, your water gym, your grass gym. It's very easy to then make sure that different builds are suitable for those different areas, and that encourages the variety because people are going to approach it differently. Again, because it's not linear, you can then go to those different areas as as your build allows. So that should in itself encourage people to have different builds, and then when they do come to those encounters, there's many more options for them to consider. So I think naturally you end up seeing just more variety there, and we can always introduce other aspects and attributes and so forth.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And actually, just to go into that a little bit more, it's as a side aspect of that, if we have global balancing, we don't have to think about nerfing as much anymore, right? I'm not a big fan of nerfing things. I think that you should just make everything as good as possible. So if something is overpowered, it's like so fun, or maybe not overpowered, but it's so fun, it's so great. Don't nerf it. Like, just make other things as good as it or better, or like just buff everything else. And if we have a balancing system so that it kind of does that, we don't have to worry about nerfing things. We can just worry about making the skills as amazing as possible. And having counters to things.
So I know we've been talking about balancing a lot, but I think you do have a lot more that you would like to say. So if we could jump onto the next section.
Just before we do that, I just really quickly wanted to mention, because Binzy did talk about and very briefly touch on the point that evolution was never supposed to happen. And I do recall that in the early days, people who discovered Rune very early on, the intent was always to build, release the rune words, which would then become available in Infinite as we develop that, and then eventually move on to Sanctuary and Evolution. Binzy built in a week the initial version where you could just kind of fly around very quickly. Runes and rune words drops were added, and actually at the time, again, because it was a technical demonstration of what was capable in terms of NFT gaming and blockchain gaming, the rewards are actually sent to you instantly, and I distinctly remember it the first time playing that, when that feature was added, that actually I flew over a rune and then got a notification on my phone through Trust Wallet saying 1 nef picked up, I think. And yeah, so that was an incredible feeling, seeing that in action. And actually, you know, this is the possibility and this is the future. Now, of course, being on a third-party chain and on the Binance Smart Chain, there are gas fees associated with that. So that was fine with the small community. And of course, when the popularity exploded, became quite expensive to do, which we moved on to then that claim reward system. But that does give us a lot more flexibility in terms of what we can offer, what we can include on there, and then have, you know, features like crafting directly from rewards as well that we've been able to introduce. So rather than having to pay those gas fees and bring them into your wallet, you know, actually then using your rewards directly to go and craft those items that you can then equip in all these games. So yeah, it's great to see how much it quite has evolved in that relatively short space of time. I think we're only really talking a year or so since we kind of moved into a more official launch of Evolution.
Thank you. That's a really good. Actually, you're leading right into what I was going to talk about. You know, our vision for the future of gaming, right? Is that it's the data will be open, right? So you'll be able to see what's happening with the mechanics in the games, what kind of items you're getting. Just like you said, you can instantly see that you get the ruin, right? And this is important because it has transparency. It means you can see that there's no duplication happening that could be verified by a third party. You can other games can also see that, and they can use those items. They can improve those items. There's lots of things that can happen at that point, right? Once we get to that point. And so, you know, and also, you know, you own that asset for life. If there was ever an issue with Ruin, for example, you know, other games could pick up where we left off. You can have a say on what's happening in that system. You have a voice, you have power in the direction through governance and whatnot. You know, so that's kind of like just going right into the vision. You can transfer, you can see that there's like no manipulation or duping. We could even potentially evolve it into licensed NFTs. So if we created a really nice character and some other game wants to build an entire game around it, they could. And so we want to have unstoppable distributed modular games. So having all of that data out there will allow us to build a truly unique system for modders. It's not just like it's no hold bar for modification, which is going to be really interesting to see. And the problem, though, like you said, is that there's fees with BSC, and so BSC was too expensive. So I do foresee that we will need to have our own chain for this stuff, and you on MetaMask could switch to the chain and see this stuff happening on the fly right away, depending on which chain you subscribe to. But let's say, for example, you want to use BSC, you'd still have to go through the claim process. But you could switch just to our like Ruin chain or whatever to see what's happening on the fly. Hypothetically, it's not official yet, but you know that is probably what will end up happening. And that's the future. What we ended up doing this year, you know, we had a lot of development on Sanctuary started. It just started in Q1 this year. So there's a misconception that that Ruin is all about an MMO RPG, and that's not the case. That was a planned feature that started development this year. We don't have a date for the launch. You know, we've hypothesized that hopefully we would be able to get a demonstration out by like the end of the year, or I think it was the end of next year. I honestly don't know. Sanctuary is not coming this year. I don't know about next year. This is a really important one, you know, and honestly, with the progress that's happening with AI and video augmentation, I'm not even 100% sure that Rune Sanctuary will be launched like a traditional game. There might be some tweaks, so we'll see how that goes. Ruin is all about preparing for what's going to happen in these next critical, runs. There's going to be another run. A lot of people think like, oh, like we should like set dates for now. Like we should have a date for November and December. There's no point. There's really no, like, there's just a number of reasons why there's no point to doing that. Number one is that we're not a bull market. Nobody cares what's happening in November and December. It's not going to change the price. It's not going to save your bags. It's not going to do anything. If you're looking forward to it, it's going to happen when it's. The thing is, if you're really looking forward to it, it's going to happen when it's going to happen. Like when it's ready to happen. And I think that you want it to be the best it can be. You don't want to like rush a release. So we can't put a date on that. All we can really say is like something is near, something is mid, and something is far. So that's how we do dates these days. When we enter into a bull market, right, and when we have a lot more people, a lot more eyes on and scrutinizing what we're doing, then we might need to put some dates. Just what's coming up in the next few months, maybe. Nothing further than a few months makes sense. If you've been in development for any period of time, you understand that you can never know what you're doing in 6 months. But yeah, so what's happening this year is a lot of work on evolution, infrastructure, the DAO, the fundraiser started. We released Nexus and a lot more lore and all this kind of stuff. And what's happening next is we're allowing non-crypto users to use evolution straight from an IO website, just like other things. So we have evo2.io, and yeah, so this will be a dumbed down version of evolution where you can. It's not done yet, but basically you'll just be able to go here, click play, and put in your username, and you'll just jump right into evolution. We will have dedicated websites for every single game, where it'll be non-crypto. You'll see a sign in or login button. There's no connect, and if you want to connect, then you have to go to. It'll detect if you have MetaMask. If you have MetaMask, then it'll offer you to connect. If you don't have MetaMask, then it's just going to assume that you're a non-crypto user. So in that way, we're gonna be able to bring this more mainstream and or at least outside of the cryptosphere. And yeah, so that's part of the goals for this year, or at least like the coming months. And we also have some other features I think we have in this. What else do we have in here? We get the Ruin launcher. Yes, we want to put everything into one launcher, so it'll be a bit easier to use. And we want to try to get Ruinward Disenchanting and Upgrading released. But some people might ask, like, what's taking so long with that? But there's just a number of reasons why it didn't make sense to rush that. First of all, attributes. Okay, so for upgrading requires attributes. The attribute system has been in progress because it's actually a really intricate system to build attributes that work across multiple games that are upgradable. So the fact is we didn't have anything working in any game except for Raid, and that was only like 10 attributes. So how am I going to build an upgrading system when I don't actually have attributes that are usable? So that was the first thing. And the second thing is that like it was pretty clear that we're heading into a bear market potentially, right? It was like it was maybe a coin flip, but it was up in the air. So just rushing those features doesn't make a lot of sense going into a bear market. And you want to have some excitement in the middle of the bear market, not just like, oh, we'll do things next market. The other thing is that we had AI art, right? So if you guys disenchanted all your stuff before we announced AI art, you might be a little pissed off because now you can't generate those skins. Yeah, so that's the near future. The mid future is obviously bridging. So these have been delayed. I think we've been pretty clear why they've been delayed. I think it's pretty clear that bridging is leading to a lot of exploitation. It's never really clear because when you bridge, you're essentially allowing anything to be cloned and duped. Or stolen or locked or anything like this. So you have to be very, very careful with that. And we are being very, very careful with that. There's no reason to rush this. All of the data, all of it, everything we've been doing, all of the progress we've been making, it can all be put on another chain. It can be put on 10 chains, a million chains. It's not a big deal. There's no reason to rush this. You know, we can always add this later. A lot of people use BSC only because of us. They didn't even know about what BSC was. They just saw Rune and they're like, okay, I gotta find out how to use that. And that's fine. Just add a network. It's not really hard. And yeah, so we want to get on Switch and Steam. We have to do this when we are non-crypto. Okay, there's crypto stuff on Steam, but honestly, I don't think it's going to be too successful. You have to put a lot of effort into marketing to make that successful. It's much better if we make it a non-crypto thing to start for those releases. Market 2, we might just remove this because I've been improving the market like progressively. It's almost a 2.0. I just have to add attributes and market data like pricing. But there's just a few things that we need to do there. And then, of course, the far future. These might get scrapped. Who knows what will happen? But we want to be able to lend NFTs. We want to have official tournament stuff, and of course we have Sanctuary and Metaverse. Launch Rune Metaverse seems like a strange roadmap item looking at it because it's there already. It is Rune Metaverse, so maybe we'll remove that. But the idea with that,
the ceremony, where we get the champagne out, and I've got it sitting in the fridge chilling already.
nice.
But yeah, I think that's just the cord cutting, isn't it? When you finally say, you put the flag up saying we're a metaverse or this is the metaverse. But as you say, we're building that. It's a digital presence, a digital place where you have a persistence, and you already get that. And our players have had that for over a year now, year and a half.
Yeah, exactly. I think that just like the market, right? Like we're progressing towards this, and I guess some of the bigger milestones for this, for me, is that number one, you can use attributes and NFTs in multiple games, which we have now since a month ago. Number two, we have a launcher where people can easily connect with each other. They can see each other in this metaverse. Number three is other metaverses or subverses can connect to us. So we have other developers in the system, third-party indies that are using our API, our protocol to join this metaverse, right? And we can have auto discovery. So within the launcher, you can see other metaverses popping up. You can easily transition between them in the world, and of course, like being able to purchase land in Sanctuary or Infinite. In the end of time, you can create a portal that goes to your world, and maybe you could create your own quests for players, and you could augment the NFTs in the way that you want, and they could take a lore keeper there, and maybe inside of their subverse, the lore keeper does something else. Maybe it shoots a beam of light. I don't know, but being able to have those features easily accessible for developers is kind of what goes into this metaverse, right?
Okay, so I guess you covered most of the roadmap. I do want to just jump back in here with a couple of different things that you did briefly go over, but I'm kind of curious about maybe more specifically like where exactly we are for a couple of different I guess things. First of all is Evolution 2.0. Where are we in the terms of like the stage of development of Evolution 2.0?
Okay, yeah. So, Evolution 2.0. We have completely reworked the networking side. So, before, Evolution would use something called WebSockets. And that was because it was on web only. And they worked pretty well. But we needed something a lot faster, so we switched to UDP. Probably anybody that's interested in game development has researched this, TCP versus UDP and this kind of stuff. So we switched to something called Mirror in Unity, and we redid the whole networking layer. We've created new maps so that you can connect the servers and connect the different the Mage Isles versus Hell versus what we're calling Elysium, which is going to be like a main area, slower paced. There's different game modes for every area. There's multiple maps. If you have more than 30 players in Mage Isles, it'll create another Mage Isles, so that we're not too squished in, right? All of that from the client side, from the visual side, from what you see is all done. But on the server side, there's a lot of integration that has to happen. And of course there has to be a lot of bug fixes and everything. So we're at that point right now where we're integrating into the server. Now the good thing is that all of the mechanics for Evo, they already existed on Evo 1 server, right? There's some new mechanics for sure, but the general stuff, is already there. So it's really a matter of integrating those and testing it thoroughly. We're pretty far, like me and the dev team are playing games, but there's still there's a lot of things to go through the list, and I would say that we on that side are only maybe like 10 out of like 60 of what we have to do for those checkpoints. And then there's the testing phase, and then there's release. So that there's been a lot of other priorities that have shifted, so I can't give a date on that. But yeah, it is coming. It's close-ish for Evo 2.
Sure.
So we're saying we've got like a playable build essentially.
Yeah, we have a playable build.
But it is to make it playable by multiple people, across the globe. That's kind of what's going to take some time, and to enable all the architecture and infrastructure that kind of allows that type of gameplay.
Well, yeah, and the thing is that we added mechanics to Evo 1, right? And so that added another aspect, right? Like the game devs didn't know that you could override players' attributes like on the fly from the server. So like from the realm server has to be able to dynamically dictate the player's attributes at any time, because the player can change their gear from the website. So there's a lot of things like that have obviously come up, and yeah, but we're making a lot of progress. It will be released. I can't say when it's going to be released, but it will be released.
Great. That'll I guess that's solidly in the near future then. So next up, what about Raid 2.0? I know Matt has probably been working on that quite a bit. I know he's shown, at least internally, some snippets of the things that he's been working on. But let's tell the people, how far are we along in Raid 2.0?
Raid 2.0. Okay, so Raid 2.0 is really taking a backseat because we had Infinite around the summer, and we've switched to Evolution, right? So, and it just, there's been a lot of like coalescing that's had to take place for Raid 2.0, as far as like the ideas and what we wanted to do with that. Raid 2.0, I would say we're not very far into the development side, but it's more like something that you get all the dominoes set up, and it's an easier one to knock out, because we're talking about reusing the Evolution client with the world map, with mechanics that are being developed across all the games, right? So these mechanics have to be developed for the other games. So it's an easier one to do, but we're not that far into it yet. I think we're just making sure that everything is really clear to knocking that out.
Gotcha. Okay, so last question for me. I think another one that I think a lot of people are probably wondering, which is, I guess it's what Loma did bring up earlier, which is what about the Infinite beta, the actual release outside of the cube holders? What about Infinite? Like, how's that looking?
So, Infinite is really, it's too easy to say. the current state of Infinite is that it has a good client build. It has obviously mechanics in it. We have the items, but it's really lacking the architecture, the core side of it, the same side that we need evolution for. We need the NFT item attributes integrated into the mechanics. And the next problem with that is that Infinite was the first place that we did the networking side revamp, and it needs to be revamped again. Essentially, we have to transpose the system that we do for evolution into Infinite, and that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. So I think that I don't think we're going to see an Infinite beta release probably maybe Q1 next year, maybe Q2. We're going to see progress on the early access for sure, and we're going to see NFTs dropping and rewards and that kind of stuff. But I don't think we're going to see like a beta release because everything has to be done really well for that. I think the Infinite Cube holders are going to see a lot more benefit out of their cube than they would have expected. Especially if we hit a bull market, because if we hypothetically hit a bull market this winter, they're going to see rewards that are really nice, but they're not going to need to share them with everybody.
Okay, cool. So Loma, I guess that is probably the answer that you were looking for. If you're still here, if you could relay that to everybody that asks, that would be very appreciated. Thank you, Loma. Okay, so I guess that's probably most of the things that I wanted to cover. Disco, do you have anything that you would like to add?
No, I think Binzy's been pretty clear. I guess if we're looking at a review of things, it's worth highlighting that we are almost up to the 1 year mark of streaming as a team. We started doing that at the end of October, and of course that will be the Room Royale as well, so it would be really great to see you all there for that anniversary. I don't know if we'll do something slightly unusual or different or special about it. It feels appropriate. We'll see what we can wangle together, but it's crazy to think how long we've been here, but still feels such a short time, and how much has happened. We've seen the evolution of evolution, we've seen the introduction of tournaments, we've seen Panda craft everything but a mythic. We have seen Maev complain about thermal paste. We've argued about crisps, chips. Clearly some people don't know the difference, and we've had a whale of a time. We've given away, I can't even imagine to think how many room words. I think that'll be the task. We're definitely looking at in the hundreds. Is it in the thousands? Maybe not, because I think we only give one each time, don't we? So we're definitely in the hundreds, but but they've been the good one. We've crafted thousands by all means and just given you the cream of the crop.
Okay, there we go.
There we are. But that'd be interesting to see how many, if we can work that out, how many room words we have crafted, or maybe we can get a guessing game of some sort. We'll see what we can do for that.
But 1 year, 10 winners each time. So, something like 500 winners and 5,000 crafted.
Yeah. Tops. Wow, 5,000 crafted? I mean, is it
actually
5,000?
No, it would be more
like 2,000? Right, because
how many do you craft each week?
We usually craft like 40, and we give away 10, so about 4 times the amount that we give away.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
About 2,000.
Somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000, something like that.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess that's it for the review. Let's go ahead and jump into Evo. Unfortunately, the other pandas are not here today, so we're just going to be doing a normal Evolution Battle Royale. It'll be the first time we're doing that with the new item effects, so that'll be interesting to watch. But yeah, everybody on the stream, get on North America 1. We're going to be doing some Battle Royales and then picking some winners from the Stream Elements bot, and that'll wrap it up for us today. Wrap us up today. One of the two.
So I've seen LibTechens joined us slightly late again tonight. Not to worry. As always, you'll be able to catch the replay of this stream directly on Twitch, but it's only available for 7 days. If you want to look back further, it will be on the YouTube channel as well. We'll be uploading that shortly, as we always do, and you'll find every single episode available on there too. So yeah, don't worry. In fact, it's quite appropriate if you were to watch it late, because we've been doing a bit of a review as to what has been happening, but also with a bit of a look forward to what will come in the future.
Actually, oh, okay, never mind. Panda took down. I was just gonna say,
Oh, did you have something else you wanted to show? I'll put it back up.
yeah, if you don't mind. Well, the YouTube channel, like IQ, Solomon said, 1 sec.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, your screen is now visible again.
Yes, do click those like and subscribe buttons, and the follow buttons, and the little heart icons, and the bells, and the whatever else that the kids do these days.
We don't have Maya to shill for us today.
So go to youtube.com/ruinmetaverse, and on the playlists we have, this is a newish playlist, and see all of the music that we've had, and we have a new one. Obviously we played it in the beginning, called Elysium, and this will be all of the music and the kind of the combat music and everything will take part in this zone called Elysium. It'll be the starting zone. And we have a number of other ones here. If you don't, if you have time, like and subscribe. And yeah, that's it. Maybe let us know which ones you like the most.
Thank you, Mayev. Okay, now everybody, let's get on Evo North America as always, and we'll be getting the battle royale started very shortly. A few minutes for everybody to get in here.
Is this Asia or North America?
North America. I believe I am on North America. My ping is a little bit higher than usual, but there's a chance I might be on a VPN.
Do both servers, do items work in both servers?
They currently do work in both servers. The person that was in Ruin Reports is basically relaying again the need for a South America server. It's not a mechanics issue.
But I did wonder, because I know that we trialed temporarily having one geared, one ungeared, but they're both geared servers now, are they?
Currently, it's both geared. Wait, when we do the non-crypto registration, then we'll do the non-geared servers.
Yeah.
All right, Zoe, Sassy Boy, Chaos Myth, and of course Disco on. Where is everybody? Come on, we usually get more dragons than this. Come on, Twitch chat, get in here.
What game mode do you want to do?
That's a good question. Disco, you can choose.
I thought we were doing Battle Royale, weren't we?
Yes, we are, but Battle Royale minus Pandemonium does not have its own game mode, so it can be like any.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to complicate things. I would just say do it in standard or deathmatch or something like that. I guess the only difference is like decay levels or something, is it? I'm trying to think of the impact of different
game modes have different like speeds and different like sprite like hunger, you know, so there's a little bit of a difference, not too much, but there is a little bit.
I guess I'll stick with standard. I'll go for the vanilla.
Okay, sure. I guess standard it is. I guess we can get ready to start. We got 5 dragons in here. Do you like vanilla ice cream, Disco?
Yeah, with some sauce.
Sauce.
Well, yeah, so that it doesn't taste just like vanilla. Because vanilla ice cream is nice.
Wait,
But
let's be friends.
You want a bit of flavour as well, don't you? Although I do like when it's made with like sort of clotted cream. That's really nice.
I just like vanilla, just by itself. Vanilla only.
I do like vanilla as a flavour anyway. Vanilla chocolate's quite nice. There I am dead.
Yep, Zoe draws first blood.
Yeah, on me.
Oh, and then Chaos Myth takes out Zoe. Oh, the little magnet effect. Got Sassy Boy versus Chaos Myth right now, and I believe if I remember correctly, Sassy Boy does have a lot of HP items equipped, but he doesn't have a kill, so Chaos Myth does take the first game.
Interesting. Do you know what? I was just thinking actually when you were talking about items being enabled in these game modes. I, probably have the luxury and fortune of having one of the most substantial inventories. Yet I'm probably still the worst equipped for these rounds. I definitely haven't set up a build and changed them. I'm my build still focused on the raid aspect, even though I'm not harvesting. So I probably should start changing it up and actually go for some attributes that are gonna. Well, I'd like to say help me in evolution. I'm still gonna die first, I know. Let's be honest, but
hey,
maybe I can double my pickups or something like that.
You won last time. Last time you won a round.
I did, didn't
That's
I?
improvement.
Actually, yeah, you're absolutely right.
That's improvement.
Maybe that should have been a quiz question. I definitely wouldn't have won that one.
All right, I think we can get ready to start for the next round as well. And I think you did mention the harvest, which I guess is another question that I guess some people might have, Binzy. Are we? Oh, Discomonk dies.
Oh, for God's sake, really?
Again. Anyway, so the question I think people might be wondering is, are we going to be switching to a new rune being farmed anytime soon?
Yeah, so like we set the 50,000 arbitrarily. We wanted obviously to hit that 50,000, but we will try to burn it down. But really, it is kind of arbitrary, because if you think about it, we're just minting until raid 1 is done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I could slow it down so that there's less number of them, right? But either way, the people who are currently raiding are just the ones that are raiding. It's honestly that stagnant, so it really doesn't make any difference. There's always the same percentage holdings. But yeah, we will definitely be switching soon because we've all minted. But I'll also be decreasing the mint, so we'll have a lot less for the HRs, because we're hitting HRs next, I think, or at least the next.
Cool.
I'm concerned when we hit HRs. I'm concerned with overminting for sure, but we haven't hit HRs yet.
Cool. So it looks like this round is a little bit slower, so we do have a little bit more time to talk. So I believe it was after the last stream, or either or maybe last week during the meeting where we did talk about potentially having skins be craftable. Do you think that's something we're going to be going forward with?
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be crafting similar to a rune word. So we're going to have to, and this is something that from day one has been the plan, is we're going to have to change the cube into a real cube. So
what? The cube?
So you'll have to, like right now, the cube is just choose your ruins, right? But the cube has to become like choose what you want to transmute. So, you could be able to just maybe if you're on Halloween, you get a broken mask shard, and you can transmute that with some gems into something else, right? We're gonna have to get that kind of system in place.
Wow, nobody is dying this round at all. Everyone's kind of just like avoiding each other.
Can we
Or
can
so
we
it seems.
increase like decay or something like that?
We're going harder.
I want to see some dragons die.
You wouldn't say that if you were still alive.
No, of course I wouldn't.
Who won the first one? Is it Chaos?
But I'm not,
Smith,
and I
yes.
haven't been for a long time.
Oh, there we go.
The
Sassy Boy and
Sassy Boy
Argonaut.
did actually
Ooh.
go down.
Okay, so Zoe does end up being the last dragon standing. I'll go ahead and write that down. Very interesting to see the difference between the first and the second game. The first game I feel like ended in like 20 seconds. Then the second game nobody was dying. Oh, here we go. We're starting. Motionless.
Cool,
is
look at
taking
that.
Overhaul. Discomonk's still alive.
Hang on.
Yeah,
I
it
got
says,
that kill on
let's be
emotion.
friends.
Oh, let's be friends. Oh, wait.
Oh, it's let's be friends.
A few people are
Oh,
starving.
change it.
We're on to Fast Drake. Okay, I guess between the last 3 dragons alive. Discomonk, you do look like you're stuttering a little bit. I don't know if that's
Oh.
intentional or not.
No, I thought I was doing all right, but I've just died randomly, even though I was full of sprites. I starved.
What's going on here? Zoe versus Overhaul. They both were sucking each other, and they both managed to escape. So here we go, another interaction, and this time Overhaul does take the win. Yeah, so on my screen, Disco, it does look like you were like stuttering. Your movement was not very smooth. I don't know if that's like a ping issue or what exactly it is.
No, I'm not sure, because I was convinced that I got that first blood on Emotionless, I think, but it came up saying Overhaul got the kill. I couldn't see Overhaul anywhere near me.
No, on my screen it
pretty
definitely
strange.
looked like Overhaul. Should have got the kill. Maybe you are lagging? Are you on a VPN or something?
Don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
It feels smooth, like the shadows. I'm on 102 ping, which is compared to historical streams is great.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, maybe it's my, it could be my screen. But everybody else does look smooth. It seems like you are the only dragon that is a little bit sluggish.
Yeah,
Maybe your dragon's been
definitely.
drinking a little bit.
I am decaying incredibly quickly. I don't know if everyone else is as well. Maybe it's because I'm the only one not wearing suitable items. It's important to go out well dressed, you know.
I think your dragon's just a little bit drunk.
Yeah, there's something wrong with your dragon.
There
It's
is
so
something
strange.
definitely wrong with me. Like I've just died. Like no wonder. Do I have like a disco cap?
Oh my god!
Is that what you've been subjected to?
A
Like
disco
this
cap.
entire 12 months.
Oh my! What if you're
Just
actually
disco cap.
secretly
No
the
wonder
best
I'm dying.
player,
No
but you've
wonder I'm
been
dying,
disco
like, every
capped?
single round first.
The hidden disco cap.
What a twist that would be.
On that note, I'll be back momentarily. I feel like I need to drink my sorrows away.
That's why your
I feel
dragon is
like
drunk.
it could be that he has an item that has a mechanic that's implemented but not supposed to be, potentially.
Oh, what would the mechanic be?
To
make your dragon
I actually think that decay, there's decay increase and decrease. Those mechanics are in the code. I think they might be enabled already, potentially. But I don't know why he'd be slower. That's strange.
Yeah, it looks like he's like maybe desyncing or something, because it seems like on his screen, from what he's describing, is not what we see, or it's not what I see at least. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, very interesting. It wouldn't be
Everybody
a
else
win
seems
stream
fine
without
though,
something
so
strange happening. You know, earlier something very strange happened to my OBS, and I have no idea what happened, and I was very confused. But yeah, I mean, I just would not be a RSS without strange things happening. So Chaos Myth very narrowly squeezed out. I forgot who exactly it was, but it looked very close, and now it's Chaos Myth versus Sassy Boy. Oh, nope, not dead yet. We probably do need to increase the difficulty. The map is very big.
Yeah, they better attack each other because the difficulty's going up.
Don't hit a wall, guys. Don't hit a wall. Oh, oh, they're sucking. Wait, Sassy Boy is almost dead. Oh wait, no, he still has another HP bar. Wait a minute. Oh, wait, Sassy Boy takes the win. Okay, Sassy Boy's the last dragon standing.
Okay.
All right, Disco, I hope you're back, although it doesn't seem like you are. All right, I think this the upcoming round will be the last round. And it looks like Disco just came back, so
Let's put it back on standard.
Did you go get a snack, Disco? Looks like he's chewing.
I've quickly stuffed a salami stick into my gob, so bear with me.
Oh, got a lot more dragons now. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. We can go ahead and start. We have a healthy amount of dragons now. Oh, Chaos Myth starved at the very beginning. How unfortunate.
Oh yeah, likewise. I'm definitely just dying.
You just got taken out by Emotionless.
Did you say this was the last game of Evo? I'm going to go have a look at my build, I think. There must be something wrong here.
Did you try restarting your game at all, or no?
No, I didn't do that. Sounds too technical for me. I'm going to have a look at my build and see if that's causing anything. So I've got guiding light on, and I know that's potentially quite wild.
I mean, sure, at least some of these other dragons have a GL as well.
Probably not, no.
Yeah, maybe
everybody
not.
Everybody else has an Elder on right now. Basically. Let me see if I can figure out what's going on with your build.
Ooh, Overhaul looks very vulnerable right now. Anybody can go for him? No? Oh, he's stuck on a wall. Come on, somebody take out Overhaul. There we go. Emotionless does get him. Zoe's stuck. But unfortunately, nobody managed to get Zoe.
Let's have a look.
The attributes look okay.
100% become sacrifice on lead. Oh, well, doesn't that surely mean that I'm never going to win a match?
Wait, 100% sacrifice? What?
100% become sacrifice on lead. So if I wear ever to take the lead, then I'm just going to become a sacrifice.
Is that an attribute? On what item?
I don't know, but it's in my inventory.
That's the disco cap. That's a disco cap item.
That's the guiding light. I confirm.
It is guiding light. I've also got 15% no rewards unless first.
Oh my god, disco.
That's so good.
Oh, in addition to that, I've got just randomized item attribute 20%.
What? Wait, are these new attributes that have been added?
No, those existed the last one that he said, that's just a display glitch. So that's actually supposed to choose a random attribute from a list on that item.
Okay.
All right, a 1v1 between Zoe and Sassy Boy.
Eki, like, you gotta remember too, right? Like we have all these plans of like what we're gonna do, how long it's gonna take, and then we didn't. But like Eki came in and did these item attributes, and he did them twice, and they're very complicated. Like you can't plan for that, you know, how long it's gonna take to develop that stuff and do it properly. But you don't want to deny that. You don't want to be just like, oh, we're just gonna make like this simple dumb smash game. Like that's not interesting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Zoe does take the last round. Congratulations to Zoe. Chaos Myth, Overhaul, and Sassy Boy are winners for the Battle Royale this week.
What's a self-orb time reduce? Is that a reduction in how long my orb is available for when I die?
I think so. I can check that one second.
And now let's get on to the Stream Elements giveaway. Just real quick, guys, real quick. What are we crafting? Say an item. Somebody say an item.
Didn't we say that Hell Reaver hasn't had much love of late?
Hell Reaver.
So I'm hoping that you can do it for our audience and give them something good.
Yeah, Hell Reaver sounds good.
Okay, so self-orb reduce. It'll reduce the time until your orb manifests. Yeah, that's right. There's also one where that will increase the time. So theoretically, you could get your own orb.
Okay. Oh, so this is until it appears rather than how long it appears for.
Until it appears, yeah.
Okay. So I'm screwed there as well. I've got 94%. So as soon as I die, my orb's going to be available. I mean, it said I had 100% sacrificial as soon as I take the lead. So yeah, that's pretty.
Oh, so hold on. So are all of these attributes already implemented? I think there are some that we have not covered before on the stream. So like, are these already implemented or are they upcoming?
No, there's some that are implemented, just not announced. But I don't know which ones they are. They're not announced, so that means that they probably don't work properly. Yeah, these ones are planned. The ones that we're talking about right now, these are just planned.
I gotcha. All right, 460 tickets in so far. 5 people have entered. Are you gonna go ahead and enter some, Disco, or nah? You did want the Hell Reaver.
I've just gone in. Yeah, I was looking for the link.
I see Calvin Clay.
I'm always a bit slow on the uptake as we get later into the stream.
Rune Evolution entered with 1 ticket.
That's the golden one. As we found, quite often on these streams, actually entering and a lot of tickets and having the largest chance of winning doesn't always guarantee you a spot on the wheel.
Yep. And sometimes that 1 ticket is all it takes.
Indeed.
Well, it's been a year and I've never won, so I'm looking to win now.
How many times have you entered, though?
Have you entered 1 ticket all the time?
I've entered 1 once, but you know what? I am the most under-geared team member. Like, almost by far. Think about how many items Kevin and Eki and Disco have.
Oh, we haven't had Kevin on the stream in a while.
Yeah, Kevin's busy.
Wow, wait, I just...
Business stuff. Business.
Oh my god, I literally... While the stream was going on, I had a bet in for the game being under 31 minutes, and ended in like 31 minutes and 40 seconds. So great. Great. That's I actually think I've lost every single bet I put in the last 2 days. I don't even know how. Like come on. That's kind of crazy. Wow.
Might be time for a short break, perhaps, for you.
Yeah, no, I'm done.
The gambling.
I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm not. I don't know, man. I like.
Which kind of different
Are
sport?
you kidding me? 40 seconds? Like, they were winning by so much. How did the game take 40 seconds? Like, I don't know. Whatever. I'm never doing this ever again.
Until we introduce it as a feature through the website.
Okay, so 1,170 tickets entered. I'll probably go ahead and close it pretty soon. It's been about 4 minutes. Yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and close it. Let's see who is gonna get lucky. Oh, one last entry before I close. Here we go. Camel 5505. Mr. Buggins, Loma, Calvin Clay, and IQ Ballerman. Okay, great. Calvin Clay, I do believe you have won before. If I'm mistaken, then make sure you do message my Ev Rune, but I believe you did win already, so you should be good to go.
I think Calvin did win previously. They seem to be making quite the storm on the scene within the Room metaverse since their recent entry. So great to see.
All right, let's spin the wheel. Oh my god, is it really not gonna pick up my... There we go. Let's see, and our Evo winners, Chaos Smith, Zoe, Overhaul, Sassy Boy, and Zoe again. Alright guys, here we go. Oh. Camel first on the list, first in and first out. Yes, of course, as always, we are going to be picking in ascending order, so the last person picked gets the highest perfection.
So if you think you're a winner, you're actually a loser. It's how we operate here.
Always like to give you that spin.
So if I've been having bad luck and everything else, does that mean I'm going to have good luck for my crafts? Or does that mean I'm going to have bad luck?
Don't say it too soon.
Yeah, I might still have just bad luck for my crafts. I don't know.
No, it's always bad luck. Perma bad luck Panda.
There has
it
to
may
be
that actually you're, because you are the bad luck panda or the no luck panda, that all bad luck is the equivalent of your good luck. So actually, when you're rolling those 0%, you are hitting those mythics every time. It's not the ones that everyone else wants.
I think in another like multiverse, there's probably a really lucky panda out there, and I'm just there to balance it out.
It's the one in all the memes. He's the one who made it big. You were this close.
I have this feeling that you're that kind of person who's gonna win the lottery, though.
Yeah, okay.
No luck until suddenly you're 97 years old and you win 10 million.
Yeah, but then he'll probably have a heart attack on the discovery of it that he's got the winning lottery ticket.
You know what? If I live till 97, I would say that all my bad luck is probably worth it.
I don't know. I mean, what if you were sort of crippled from the age of 40 onwards and then lasted till 97?
Come on, stop describing my future. You're going to speak into existence at this rate.
I feel like it's been a while since Zoe has won.
Are you trying to jinx her or what?
Sorry, Zoe.
That sounds like that sounded like it was an attack.
I'm waiting to see the outcome of this now.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, never mind. Maybe it was a blessing.
We said we were reverse spinning it. Tonight's the night.
See? I'm lucky.
It was a
Blessed
blessing.
Binzy.
Not lucky enough to win yourself, but
No, never win myself. I help other people win. Yep, like a toy spin.
All right, so let's go ahead and do the crafts. Hopefully we do have the runes in here to craft Hell Reaver. I believe we should be good to go. Yep, looks like we are good. 40 Hell Reavers. Here we go, guys. How long has the stream been? An hour and 35 minutes? That's not too bad, right? I think that's a good length.
I think that's a short-if stream.
I mean, maybe a little bit shorter than usual. Oof. Oh, damn. All right. Well, I guess maybe this is just you know, it's just one of those weeks for Panda, huh?
Hell Reaver is actually statistically harder to get a high rarity.
Yeah. Is it a 40% max for harvest yield? Or is 35 the max? Let's see.
35, I think.
35. So I did get one max on there. I did get a 7%, which I guess is a reverse epic. But I guess just a couple of yellows today. Not
Yeah,
no purples.
Hell Reaver is tricky. I mean, you're looking at 36 potential outcomes just on the first attribute alone. Multiply that by 21 for your second attribute, another 11 for the one after, and yeah, you can understand why even you, with your amazing and well-renowned luck, might not be able to get more than a handful of rares.
Yeah, the trick is that if an item has a lot of low ranges, like 1 to 2 or 0 to 2, then it's a lot easier to get a higher rarity. Because if you get if it's a 0 to 1 and you roll a 1, then you've already increased that. Let's say there's 2 attributes, then it goes up 50%. If there's 4 attributes, it goes up 25%. So it's a lot easier to make gains with that.
Does anybody think that maybe it shouldn't be that way, or is that just me?
Doesn't matter. Okay, so basically, there's no perfect system. You cannot have a perfect way to do it. So it was all about just choosing some way and putting that in stone. And it is in stone. It will never change.
Okay, yeah.
You can't fuck with people's money like that. I mean, like, that's just a whole thing. Like, there's things you can do, like you can tweak attributes. Maybe if an attribute's super unbalanced, you could replace it. But you can't just be like, yeah, no, like the entire way that you've been collecting items is wrong for a year that you've spent thousands of dollars on. No, just no way.
Yeah, definitely.
I think working it out
like
just now, you're looking at around about just over 1 in 7,000 chance to get a mythic Hell Reaver. Whereas I think traditionally a lot of the items are in the around about 4,000 or 5,000 range. Some of them as low as kind of 2,000. I think Beacon was even about 1 in 1,800. So of course we've had historical items like Lawkeeper, which was a 1 in 9 chance, and I still took me 20 goes to get one. So I share your pain, Panda.
I wish I could
and
have.
Unfortunately, I stopped rolling after that. I spent a lot of money on them beyond that point.
Yeah, I wish we could have done some lore keeper rolls. See how many it would have took for me to get one. You think I would get one in 40?
I think you would have still needed that mint 100 button.
Okay, cool. Well, congratulations to
The
the.
lore keepers. Nobody knew that it was going to be a good item.
No.
Right. So that was part of it. Right. Is that we want to just be like, if you like crafting, then craft it, and kind of reward people for their crafting afterward. So nobody knew Lore Keeper was going to be as good as it is. They still sell on the marketplace for like $50.
Yeah, well, I think we'll want those Worldstone shards ready for that Raid 2.0 when they're transmuting as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Congratulations to the winners of the Hell Reavers. I believe we have everybody's wallet addresses, so I think you guys are good on that aspect. And thanks everybody for stopping by to the stream.
Thanks,
Yeah,
everyone.
I hope you guys all had a good time, and thank you for the content, Binzy. Catch you guys all next week for the Rune Sunday stream. Goodbye. Good night, everybody.
Good
Thanks,
night.
all.
See you.